Your cat watches you leave every single morning. She sits by the door. She stares, and the moment it closes, you assume she curls up in a sunbeam and sleeps until you're back. But here's what actually happens inside that apartment while you're gone, and some of it will genuinely surprise you. Because most of the mistakes that harm cats at home, they're made by loving owners, people who thought they were helping, people who had no idea. Let's fix that. I've gone through vet studies, animal behaviorist research, and real emergency cases to build this list. These aren't scare tactics. These are documented patterns that show up in clinics every single week. 15 things, some obvious, some shocking. Let's go. You've done it. I've done it. Before heading out, you flip on the TV so your cat won't feel alone. It sounds logical. It is deeply wrong. A cat's hearing range extends up to 79,000 hertzes. Yours tops out around 20,000. What sounds like background noise to you registers as a constant flood of sharp, unpredictable, unlocatable sound to them. But the real problem is commercials. TV broadcasts are engineered to grab human attention, sudden volume spikes, quick tonal shifts, voices that change pitch without warning. To a cat, that's indistinguishable from a real threat entering their space, and they can't figure out where it's coming from or when it'll stop. Studies from the University of Lincoln found that cats exposed to unpredictable audio stimuli showed measurable increases in cortisol, the stress hormone. They weren't relaxing. They were on alert for hours. If you want to leave background sound, use purpose-built playlists of birdsong or slow nature sounds at a consistent volume. There are even Spotify playlists specifically designed for cats. The frequencies are calibrated to their comfort range. But honestly, most cats prefer silence. The TV is for your guilt, not their well-being. Here's the single cheapest enrichment tool available to any indoor cat: a window. Birds, insects, people walking, a leaf moving in wind, rain on glass. Visual stimulation from a window activates the same predatory brain circuits that a toy does, except it runs for hours, with constantly changing content, and costs you nothing. Research published in the Journal of Feline Medicine found that indoor cats with regular window access showed significantly lower signs of boredom-related behaviors. Less overgrooming, less compulsive eating, less apathy. Before you leave tomorrow morning, spend 30 seconds clearing your windowsill. That's it. That's the whole tip. It might be the most valuable 30 seconds in your cat's entire day. You close the bedroom door to protect your bedspread. You close the office door to protect your cables. You close the bathroom door because, well, who knows? And your cat spends the next 8 hours in 2 rooms. This matters because cats don't experience territory the way we do. For them, space isn't a preference, it's a security mechanism. They patrol their environment multiple times a day to confirm that nothing has changed, nothing new has entered, everything is safe. When half their territory becomes suddenly inaccessible, they don't relax. They become hyper-vigilant about what might be behind those doors. The paradox: the more space you give a cat, the calmer they become. The tighter the space, the more damage they cause, not out of spite, but out of anxiety. If you're closing doors to protect specific items, hide the item. Don't shrink the world. This one has killed cats, and it almost never makes it onto these lists. A washing machine drum is warm, enclosed, dark, and lined with soft rubber seals. For a cat, that's the perfect napping spot. They climb in, curl up, and fall asleep. You come home, throw in a load without checking, press start. Every year, veterinary clinics report cases of cats injured or killed this way. It is entirely preventable by one habit: closing the drum door when you leave. Extend this rule: dryer doors, dishwasher doors, open suitcases, gym bags left unzipped on the floor. Any enclosed space a cat can fit into is a potential trap, especially if it can accidentally close from the outside. 5 seconds of checking. That's the cost of prevention. The open flame risk is obvious. The chemical risk is less known, and it's the bigger story. Paraffin candles release benzene and toluene as byproducts of combustion. In human-sized spaces, the concentrations aren't dangerous for us. But cats are small, They breathe faster, and their livers cannot break down many aromatic compounds the way ours can. Essential oil diffusers are worse. Tea tree, eucalyptus, citrus, lavender, peppermint, these are among the oils listed as toxic to cats by the ASPCA. A cat breathing diffused oil for 6 to 8 hours isn't being pampered. They are being slowly poisoned. Symptoms often don't appear until the damage is already accumulating: lethargy, appetite loss, breathing changes. If you want a nice-smelling home, use it after you're back. While you're gone, your cat needs clean air, not aromatherapy. The logic seems solid. Fill the bowl before you leave so they're covered all day. Here's what actually happens for many cats. The bowl is empty within the first 2 hours, and they spend the next 6 hungry. Then they overeat again at dinner. Repeat. Over months, this pattern contributes to obesity, which in cats significantly increases the risk of diabetes, joint disease, and liver problems. Additionally, dry food left exposed for 8+ hours oxidizes, absorbs ambient odors, and begins to go stale, and cats with sensitive noses often refuse it, even when hungry. An automatic timed feeder costs around $30 to $50 and solves both issues permanently. It's one of the rare gadgets that genuinely earns its shelf space. You know the one. You're crouched on the floor holding your cat's face, saying, "Mama loves you, be good, I'll be back soon, don't be sad." And your voice is high-pitched and guilty. Your cat doesn't understand the words, but she absolutely understands the tone, your body language, and quite literally, your scent. Under stress, humans release elevated cortisol. Cats can smell it. What you're communicating through this ritual is, something is wrong. And every departure becomes associated with that anxious, elevated state. Animal behaviorist Dr. John Bradshaw's research confirms that cats with calm, routine departures show significantly less separation anxiety than those with emotionally charged goodbyes. The fix is almost embarrassingly simple. Grab your keys, walk out, no ceremony. Routine reads as safety. He leaves like this every day. He always comes back. Same principle applies to arrivals, by the way. Don't run in screaming baby talk. Just come home normally. High-rise syndrome is a real medical term used by vets for injuries caused by cats falling from height. It is documented across every major city in the world. Cats have excellent balance but genuinely poor depth perception at height. More critically, their hunting instinct operates faster than their ability to calculate a jump. A pigeon lands on a ledge outside. The cat lunges. The window was open. The screen was a flimsy, plastic-clipped mosquito net that popped out under their weight. A standard mosquito screen will not hold a cat. Full stop. They are held in by clips that cannot support the force of a 5 kilograms animal in motion. Proper pet-grade safety screens screw into the frame. They cost under $40 for most standard windows. If you have an open window, especially above the second floor, this is not optional. You fill the bath intending to use it later. You step out for 20 minutes groceries, a quick errand. You leave the bathroom door open because, well, it's just 20 minutes. Here's the anatomy of what can happen. A cat jumps onto the slippery porcelain rim to investigate, loses footing, falls in. Cats can swim, but they panic in deep, enclosed water almost immediately. Wet fur increases body weight by up to 3 times within seconds. The bathtub walls offer no grip. There is nothing to push against. Even a healthy, strong cat can exhaust themselves and drown within minutes in this situation. Always drain the tub before leaving. If you plan to use it later, keep the bathroom door closed. This is one of those risks that sounds unlikely until it happens, and then it's too late. A bored cat home alone for 8 hours will eventually investigate every cable in the room. Charger cables, lamp cords, extension cables, earphone wires to a cat. These are thin, moving-shaped objects on the floor, the exact profile of prey. And unlike a toy, nobody comes to take this one away. Beyond the destruction of your property, chewing a live wire can cause electrical burns inside the mouth, cardiac effects, and critically can start a fire while you're not home to contain it. The fix: cable management sleeves, under $10 for a full pack, furniture positioning to hide wires, and bitter apple spray on anything that can't be hidden. Cats strongly avoid the taste and stop returning to treated surfaces within days. Before you leave each morning, do a 1-5 second floor level scan. If you can see a dangling cord, your cat definitely can. Cats are among the cleanest animals on the planet in terms of their toilet habits. A dirty litter box is not an inconvenience for them, it is a hygiene emergency. If the box is too soiled to use by their standards, and their standards are considerably higher than yours, they will immediately find an alternative surface. They're not retaliating. They simply need somewhere to go, and the option you provided is unusable. That alternative is almost always a soft, flat surface. The bathroom mat, the sofa, your bed. Scoop before you leave. It takes 90 seconds. It prevents an outcome that takes 20 minutes to clean up and is profoundly unpleasant for both of you. A cat's tongue is covered in backward-facing barbs called papillae, the same structure that lets them strip meat from bone. Once a string, elastic, or thread catches on those barbs far enough back, the cat cannot spit it out. The barbs only allow movement in one direction. They swallow it involuntarily. This leads to what veterinarians call a linear foreign body obstruction. The string anchors at one point in the gut and bunches the intestines like fabric gathered on a thread. Surgery is almost always required. Without it, the condition is fatal. A needle and thread left together is probably the most dangerous combination of objects in a cat household. The cat follows the thread. The needle travels with it. Intestinal perforation follows. Before you leave, hair ties in a drawer, sewing kit in a closed box, any small string-like object off the floor. 30 seconds of tidying. One bowl is usually enough under normal conditions. But cats are clumsy. Bowls get knocked over, a piece of food falls in and makes the water smell wrong. The bowl is near the food dish, and cats instinctively dislike drinking near where they eat, a wild behavior designed to avoid contaminated water near a carcass. Chronic mild dehydration is the leading contributor to kidney disease in cats, and kidney disease is the leading cause of death in aging cats. The solution? A second bowl in a different room. Not a fancy fountain, just a second bowl. 30 seconds, basically zero cost. Cats with multiple water sources scattered through their territory drink measurably more water overall. Lilies are worth addressing specifically because they are everywhere, in florist bouquets, in gardens, on kitchen tables, and they are extraordinarily dangerous. A cat that brushes against a lily and then grooms itself has ingested enough pollen to cause acute kidney failure. Symptoms may not appear for 12 to 24 hours, by which point the damage is already irreversible. The ASPCA maintains a full, searchable online list of plants toxic to cats. Before any new plant or cut flower enters your home, it takes under a minute to check. That minute is worth your cat's kidneys. It's fine. They're independent. I'll leave a big bowl of food. Here's what the research actually shows. By the second day of isolation, cats show measurable behavioral changes, reduced appetite, increased vocalization, compulsive grooming. By the third day, anxiety levels in socially bonded cats are comparable to those in animals experiencing clinical separation distress. Cats are not fully solitary animals. They form social bonds, and those bonds require maintenance. A large bowl of kibble does not replace a human presence. If you're going to be gone for more than 24 hours, arrange a visit, not to refill the bowl, although that matters, but to make physical contact. To let your cat hear a familiar voice and confirm that the world is still turning and they haven't been left behind. Most of these take under a minute to fix. Scoop the box, clear the windowsill, drain the tub, close the drum door. The difference between a stressed cat and a calm one is often just 30 seconds of attention before you walk out the door. If this helped, share it with someone who has a cat, because most of these mistakes come from people who genuinely love their animals and just didn't know. See you next time.